and thank you for joining Growing Tech Fast, the condensed Org3D podcast, where we talk about growing tech startups with those who have grown them. Today, I am joined by Graeme Speak, CEO and founder at BankVault Cybersecurity. It's great to have you on the podcast today. How are you doing?
Thanks very much, Emily. Great to be here.
Great. So, for the benefit of our listeners, can you tell me a little bit more about who you are and your mission with the work that you're doing?
Thanks. So I'm a technology entrepreneur. I run a company called BankVault Cybersecurity. So we're actually a cybersecurity innovation team. We develop technology. We've got about 20 innovations, 6 patents filed worldwide, and 5 products. And the really big one we're working on right now is this is all around securing your access to web services. So you're doing anything online, you're logging through a browser. This is what we secure.
Perfect. Okay, very interesting. So what is BankVault doing at the minute then?
So the really big thing that we've worked on now is a way of doing passwordless logins to websites. So where you normally log in and enter a username and password, you see asterisks on screen. Most people presume that means that you're secure, but you're not. That's literally a mask just for the person sitting in the chair next to you. Any software that you might have picked up in that browser in the last 10 months sees that as clear text. And that's a really big problem. It's very, very easy to intercept. Very, very simple for a hacker to embed a bit of JavaScript in your browser and actually be siphoning off everything that you're doing. And what this means also, if you're using a password manager, we think password managers are helping us be secure, but they're really not. Because when they load your encrypted password into a web form, it's no longer encrypted. It's clear text intercepted instantly by anything in the browser. And there's nothing that the industry can do about that. Well, the password management industry can't. This is why we came up with two-factor authentication. 2FA is a good idea, but it's clumsy, it's clunky. It's also just another hurdle in series. So if I've hacked your browser and I've got your login credentials to your bank account, for example, I'm now one step away from tricking you to revealing your second factor, which I can do. There's a whole variety of tricks and techniques. And if I've got it, the consequences can be catastrophic to yourself personally, to the business. So that's the problem we're actually solving. And we have solved it. This sounds like a big statement, but we have. So what we've created is a solution which we call Master Key. And what it is actually creates passwordless authentication. And this is if your listeners haven't heard of this before, they will absolutely hear about this within months because it's really big. This is an industry that's about 40 times larger than the password management industry right now. It's taking over the world. You'll know Apple, Microsoft, and Google all now are providing passwordless access to their own services. You might think of Apple announced this just recently to a thing called passkeys. So you're no longer entering a username and password. And with those 3 providers, which is every device that we have on the planet is Apple, Microsoft, or Google, this is now in everybody's hands. And so what you'll see over the next 12 to 24 months is a surge as every other online service provider is going to go passwordless as well. Now, if you're going to do this, you've got some fairly clunky choices. Most of these passwordless solutions on the market require you to do some pretty heavy integration at the back end. You're going to change the way you're identifying a user. So you've got to do data migration. You're going to do this while you're running live. It's like changing the undercarriage of an airplane while it's in the air. It's complicated. And you've got to deploy software to every one of your users and then handhold them through the change. It's called change management. So this is a mega project. And what we've done, which is different with MasterKey, is the solution is actually invisible to the user. There is nothing to install. There is no setup. It simply starts working. And so you can deploy this en masse to any size user base, and your users are going to have a more seamless login experience, which increases their engagement, and it's going to provide more security. It's better secure than entering a username and password. So better security increases trust. So it's a benefit for the end user, and that is a business driver for any online service provider.
Right. That is so exciting, so interesting. I would love to see how the product works. So for the benefit of our listeners, are you able to show us a demo of the product and how it works?
Yeah, I can. And it will take literally seconds. And so let me do this. So can you give me access to share my screen, please?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate one of our customer sites, and then I'm going to actually let you do it in your own hands. And let's see how that goes.
Great. Very exciting.
Right, now, I still can't have access. So can you try that again? There we go. All right. Okay. So this is a live customer. This is a Boston-based financial services group. If I go into the member login portal, they've actually got 3 portals here. I'm just going to click on one of these. And luckily, I've actually got an account on their system. I can enter in basically my existing username and password, or what I could do is open the phone camera on my mobile phone. And I've got a technical problem with my mobile phone. Can you believe it? What's going on? My camera won't work. Let me just try that now. Okay, it's working now. So Emily, can we just wind that back and re-record this little section?
Yeah, we'll do it from the top.
Yeah, let me back right out of there. I'll stop the screen sharing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the screen sharing wasn't on.
Yeah. So I don't know where you want to cut in there. But
okay, I'll just go from the top from the product demo.
Yep.
I can't remember what I said.
Would you be able to show us what it looks like or how it works?
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll just do it from the top, like you've just kind of like stopped speaking from the last question. Great. That is super exciting and very, very interesting concept. I would love to know a little bit more about how the product works. So for the benefit of our listeners, can you show us how your product works? A little demo for the audience.
This is 1,000 words. I'm glad you asked, because this is so simple to demo. So do I have screen access here? Let me see if I can share my screen. There we go. All right, so this is one of our customers. This is a Boston-based financial services group called Trellis. If I go into the member login area here, they've got 3 portals, and I've got an account on one of these. So I can actually log in. And the way they've done it, they've actually given their users a choice. So the users can just keep logging in with their existing username and password, or alternatively, open the camera on their mobile phone. What I've done, I've literally just scanned that QR code with my phone camera, and that page is transferred to my mobile. You can see it here in my window. Mm-hmm. If I now wants me to log in as this particular user, I'm just going to confirm that with my finger. And now it will ask me for my fingerprint. So I touch my finger to the phone, it authenticates me on the phone, and the workstation logs in. So simple. Now, there is actually no single attack surface here. There is actually nothing installed on my mobile phone. There was also virtually no setup. So this is really, really cool. Very, very difficult to actually compromise. And from my point of view right now, I no longer need to remember or enter my credentials ever again. And what I'd like to do, I can actually give you a live experience in your own hands, if you like. So let me...
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
And this is a demo. So the back end of this doesn't actually do anything other than show us what it receives from the user. Let's do a little thought experiment. Can I ask, where did you study? Where did you go to university?
So I went to Tiffin University in America.
In America? Okay.
Yes.
Where is that in America?
In Ohio, actually.
Okay, cool place.
Yes.
Unusual place. So let's suppose that I've been chatting with the guys at Tiffin University for the last 2 weeks. That's all they needed. They've got their head around it, and they've realized there is no technology risk. I'll explain why later. And no security risk. Now, if there's no technology risk and no security risk, they can actually go big bang, go live straight away. Big step. Let me show you how this works. So 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, they're going to basically integrate a little API into the website. This is a cosmetic change. It's about 20 lines of code, and they deploy it. So it's about 30 minutes work, and it's deployed. We'll come in Monday morning. Now, if you're accessing the website through a mobile phone, there appears to be nothing different. If you're on a workstation, you're going to see that's a QR code. I'm showing this because there's a little bit more drama and it's a bit more interesting. Now, Monday morning, you're under pressure. So there's a QR code on the screen and you haven't got time to think about it. You're going to keep logging in as you normally do. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you keep barreling through with your normal routine. It's not until Friday you've got a bit of time up your sleeve. There's a QR code on the screen that's been there all week and you trust your institution. There are 3 words, scan to log in. So do you have an iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Right? Okay, so just open the camera on your
Yep.
iPhone. And if you point it towards the QR code, it'll want to open up a web link.
Got it.
And all this, if you accept that link, all it's going to do is simply transfer this page onto your mobile phone.
It's not working. It's key.
Let me refresh the page. Okay. It might have been up there for some time. I should refresh. Okay, try and scan it again now.
Okay, we are set.
Okay, so what's on the screen? Can you hold up? Okay, so there it is. It's come up and it's asking you for your username and password.
Yeah.
So you've been there for the last 12 months. You've got an account and your account name is Emily.
Yeah.
So just type in the username of Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And the password is, say, ABC.
Perfect.
And then press save and log in. Boom. Now, you've just controlled my laptop. I didn't touch a keystroke. Wow. There is nothing installed on your phone, and yet you've logged in here. Now, you typed in a username called Emily, which is your existing account. You typed in a password of ABC, which was your existing password, and we've now got the device signature of your phone. Two-factor authentication is something that you have, that mobile phone, and something that you know, captured in a completely natural way. If I log out now and you come back in on Saturday morning, try and scan it again now. And tell us what you see on screen.
Auto login as Emily. That's what's popped up.
Going to say yes.
Yep.
I've got a bit of, there we go. It's
there we go.
Talking from opposite sides of the world, but this is normally sub-second response. So you've logged in again. So you no longer need to remember or enter your credentials. As I said, there is nothing installed on your phone. There is no obvious setup. And if you now go to the website with your mobile phone, I'm just going to mock this up on screen so everybody can see this easily. If this was your mobile phone screen, you go to the website Monday morning, boom, it recognizes you instantly and logs you in. You come back again the next, boom. This is instant. It is so simple. This is multi-factor authentication.
That was so quick, so easy as well.
This is a really big idea. But what's so cool is that for any organization to deploy this, you can deploy it literally within minutes, even though everybody will want to think about it for at least a few days. And if I can maybe just share a couple of 2 slides here, which kind of explains how it works. The technology here is actually very, very cool. And it'll make sense. So the heart of this is actually the mobile phone and the user's browser. What we're doing is we're creating some illusions here. So you got on your phone a normal login screen. We simply transferred from the workstation. You entered your existing username, which was Emily. When you touch the password field, we actually invert the architecture. Your keyboard disappeared and we projected an image of a keyboard into the browser. This is an illusion. There is no keyboard. It's a photograph. It's a photograph of a keyboard, but it could be pictures of animals, Chinese characters, anything at all. What we're actually doing is setting up encoded cells on the screen. So when you touch the cell that sits above the photograph of the letter A, instead of generating the letter A, we're going to generate maybe 48 characters. And the only place in the universe that can interpret that is the web server that set it up a second earlier. That has the security secret. It becomes a character inside the web server. It stays there. Web server echoes asterisk back on screen. We also pass through a unique device signature for the phone. So there's our 2-factor authentication. So we built this about 4 years ago. And what we've done more recently is now use this as a building block to create a protocol. And this is really cool. So the way it works, we call it decentralized because there is no single point of control. We're basically setting up 3 security secrets, 1 permanent, 2 temporary. These secrets never come together. There is no central storage where you can actually access or control this. What happens is that the web server will generate a security secret on the fly. It's temporary. It will either hand it to the mobile phone or it might go into workstation. If it goes to the workstation, the only purpose of the QR code is if you scan that, it will transfer it back onto the mobile. So the mobile phone now generates some security secrets as well. And these security secrets combine to encode the screen. So nothing in the universe can get this. You touch the cell above the photograph of the letter A, we generate 48 characters. We can go and store it. If you come back later, we actually also encrypt it. So you've got encrypted and encoded data. So you'd need, with current technology, billions of years to decrypt it. And if you succeeded, you'd have nothing but contextless, meaningless encoded data. You have nothing. So you come back on the next day, on Friday or Monday, you scan it again. It recognizes it has a record. It pulls that record out and hands it to another staging system, which can start receiving one of the security secrets, receives a new security secret from the web server, hands it back into the web server, becomes a character. And this happens in milliseconds. This will scale to hundreds of millions of users. And this gives us one-factor authentication, username, password. We also pass through the device signature of the phone, 2 factors. We can also include the biometrics. You saw my fingerprint earlier, 3 factors. We can also provide the GPS coordinates of the phone, 4 factors. We actually we won a tech event, the Maritime Defence Expo in Sydney a few months ago. We got best overall innovation at the show, which is a massive show. And now that we're looking at a partnership with a massive French aerospace prime contractor called Thales at the moment. They've got a bit of machine learning code that runs in a smartwatch that will tell us that you're alive. So we've got 5 factors of authentication. The market for that is pretty small. It's maybe some generals and Bank of New York Mellon. In fact, Bank of New York Mellon only asked us for 4 factors. Most will be happy with 3. That's a lot. But the reality is that most of the market today just uses username and passwords. It's like 95, 98% of the market. And those organizations can deploy our solution and immediately have the benefit of better security and a better user experience. So if you can provide your users with a more seamless login experience, it's going to increase engagement. It's more secure. You're going to increase trust. It's a no-brainer. And you don't have to handhold them through the process.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's super, super interesting.
But it's very cool.
Very, very cool. Definitely the future of technology. So obviously you mentioned that, you started this product about 4 years ago. How has BankVault evolved over time?
It's such progression. So what I think is one of our secrets is we never stagnate. So we are constantly evolving and building and innovating on top of the shoulders of what we've done before. So we make sure, my guys, we never hack things together. So we always try to do it right the first time. So we never have to go backwards. With that, we create really solid foundations. And as soon as we finish something, the guys come up with better ideas. And we just start building on the shoulders of what we had before. So we've got this really strong pedigree now, probably about at least 20 innovations that we've created. Generally around securing users logging into web portals. So you've seen one product here. I've got another product I could show you, which I won't now, but we've probably got about 15 innovations in that one unified product that secures an individual. So their banking credentials could never be intercepted. Or they could open up some malware on their screen, but never be hacked. So these things, so it's just a constant process, and we're never short of ideas, It's a shame that almost when you're commercializing an idea, you kind of got to stop innovating and make sure you get the return on investment. And I think one of the things that we do well is I always look for a problem that I can solve that's right in front of my feet. And it's an acute problem because I can get an immediate return on investment on that. At least it will pay for the development cycle. And then if you can find a problem that is truly global, then you have a market that is investors are very interested in. That's where the funding comes in. So you're spinning up multiple flywheels together. And that sounds confusing, but honestly, it's really fun. It's a very creative process. It's a scientific process, but it's very creative.
Yeah, it sounds super, super innovative and definitely very exciting. Very exciting future for BankVault for sure. So are there any particular moments that triggered a change in your thinking or approach to startup life?
Look, this has been my life right through since leaving university. So there's so many moments that it's hard to really just pick one. I'm just going to, in terms of highs and lows, I mean, I will tell you one funny story, but this is like a magical story. we developed some very cool technology. We worked out how to build virtual machines within 1 or 2 seconds when Amazon was taking 40 minutes. And, but trying to commercialize that, it's one thing to be a great tech, a great engineer and develop really cool technology, but you must be able to commercialize it. And that is the hardest thing, right? So there's a lot of people that say they can sell you stuff that just can't. There's a lot of people that will give you advice that they've actually not done it before, but they sound so confident. And actually, they're wrong. So I think ultimately you've got to listen to your own gut instinct. And when you're running out of time and you're painted into a corner, that's when you start learning to climb the walls. And you've got to, right? You're going to die otherwise. That is where an entrepreneur really is worth his salt. And it's a point where you have everything on the line. And I remember being in this situation time and time again, where, suddenly, you're looking at the stratosphere and everything is going well. And suddenly you're looking at the horizon, it's not that great. And then your roller coaster is going down and you're looking at the ground coming up at you and you're looking at oblivion. And when that happens, your heart starts pounding, your ears start ringing, your eyes go out of focus, and that's when, I've been there and I've just literally got on a plane, gone to another country, looking for an angle, I'm getting outside my own comfort zone and I'm going outside my normal circle. And when you can start talking to people in a very honest, raw way about what the problem is that you need to solve, you are being vulnerable. Once in a while, someone has the answer to that and the solution. And when you get that help, because we are all in this integrated network, we don't do anything by ourselves. You're delusional if you think you do. We are so integrated. So it is about communicating. And if somebody can actually solve your most acute pain problem, that changes the world. And it can happen in a heartbeat. This happened to me so many times that I know it's actually a formula for success. I'll just tell you one funny little story. It's a nice one. I was 3 days before closing the company because I knew if I didn't, I'd probably go to jail.
Oh, wow.
I didn't solve it, but I'm giving this literally everything I had. And and I had this phone call from a guy. He said, look, I think I've got an investor for you. It's like, whatever, I've heard that before. No, really interested. And anyway, had the phone call. I was like, yeah, really interested. It's like, whatever. He sent through his guy to do the due diligence, a guy called Brett Looney. In my city, in my state of Western Australia at the time, this guy in our world was God. He was like one of the top guys ever. I've known him about 25 years. And he was going to do the due diligence on it. So he came in, did the due diligence and loved it. And I remember saying, well, do you mind, telling your boss that it's a goer because I'm out of life, And he said, as he was leaving, he said, this is so good. He said, could I invest myself? And I said, sure. And I just said, like, that'd be amazing. You're
Mm-hmm.
God. Didn't quite say that. He asked me can you give me like 10 grand? And I won't tell you how much he gave me, but it was a shock.
Yeah.
Just an absolute shock.
Wow.
And he doubled up again months later. He put more in again the next year. And he is my fairy godmother.
Wow. That's amazing.
And he didn't take advantage. He backed us to the hills totally. And I feel like this guy is, owned my life, certainly my professional life. And with his investment and support, we've created this most incredible technology now. So I'm so proud of it. And it's not just me, it is the team over a number of generations. So, would that have ever happened if I hadn't just got desperate and reached out and said, look, this is actually really what I need? No.
No, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing how you were just so close to giving up and then just getting that last bit of luck. It's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So, if you could, what would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Oh my God. I think the raw truth is don't care about what other people think of you.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, in the end, it's just you and yourself. Get out there. You're going to make mistakes, but the moment you do, you'll accept it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
If you're living your life by what other people are thinking or telling you, you're not following your own passion, your own heart. And I don't know, it's just so much easier when you're doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
The sooner you start that and learn that lesson and get on with it, the better. And
Yeah.
don't hold back. Like, seriously, I've held back for years for so many reasons, just out of fear. And you don't want it because no one else cares, really. It's just you. Go out there, go large, go hard, go live.
Yeah. That's, so important to live by. I definitely think a lot of people could, definitely take that on board, including, everyone really. Great. So how would you say COVID affected you then?
COVID was actually, there was an interesting story of COVID. So I was in San Francisco, and we knew this virus was around, and my brother is actually in the medical industry, and he rang me from Australia, and he said, look, I think, if this COVID thing gets called a pandemic, your travel insurance doesn't cover pandemics. So you're going to be the last person to get a ventilator. I think you need to get onto an aeroplane and actually fly back to Australia where you'll be safe. And you need to do it tonight, as in the next few hours.
Wow.
Look, I really respect my brother. He's he's amazing within his career. And it was a shock. And I just thought, I'm here in Silicon Valley. It's been a mountain to climb to get here. I've got the highlight of, this is Friday, I've got the highlight of my career on Monday, where I'm actually pitching to the Band of Angels, which is the premier angel investment group worldwide. And I thought, I'm not going to go. I'm going to embrace the adventure, and we'll see what happens. Well, the next day, literally 24 hours later, the mayor of San Francisco locked down the Bay Area, and
wow.
It was shelter in place, and we weren't allowed to leave our houses or anything, which was a shock. But we all went through this, right? But the predicament was pretty awkward for an Australian citizen being in the US with a potential visa running out, unable to get back to Australia, unable to get to anywhere overseas to renew it. So, I will tell you something funny. I have a pretty insular life. I literally just work 18 hours a day. I love it. That's my life. But I'm working from home. And all it meant during COVID was everybody's lifestyle came down to my level. So I wasn't missing out. And that made me happy.
Yeah, no, I think definitely COVID, really, really affected everyone, really, especially, different citizens in different countries, me included. I was stuck in America for a little bit. So definitely understand the pain that, it caused, especially for, everyone, really.
Yeah,
great.
Struggle, but you just get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So who would you say your role models are then?
Oh, I do look at people a lot. There's only one guy that I really think of as kind of my hero. This guy called David Rousseau. David was an orphan, grew up in an orphanage, left at 16, started flipping hamburgers, eventually bought a hamburger joint, set up a small chain of these, sold them, got into bakeries, worked in a bakery, started a chain of bakeries, flipped it, got into property development. And at the age of 37 was a multimillionaire.
Wow.
That's not my hero. What he did was he actually had an idea. And I'm so interested in this, is that for any entrepreneur, what is that moment where you actually take the step over the cliff? Like that moment of that you overcome that fear or whatever it is, and you actually step. That is the edge of oblivion or flying or whatever. And what he did is he actually had an idea to actually loan a little bit of money to a very poor family in Bali who were in debt to a loan shark. It was a very small loan, and he loaned them enough money to buy a sewing machine. So it was actually generationally enforced poverty. This family their children were going to inherit the debt from the loan shark. But within 4 months, they'd actually paid out the loan shark. And within a few more months after that, actually repaid the money that he loaned them. That was the first thing. When I first heard about him, he made 250,000 microloans and helped 5 million people earn their way out of poverty.
Wow.
This guy's my hero.
That's amazing. Wow. Really, really very insightful, and it's definitely something we could all kind of take from that. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's very, very great. Okay, great. So last question really from me then, a little bit off the work topic really, but do you have any interests, outside of work that you like to do when you're not, when you're not working or in the office?
Yeah, I'm pretty active. I think my passion is actually kite surfing,
Wow,
and
okay.
I really do love it. It's an extreme sport. I've actually got a neuromuscular condition. I'm actually physically quite weak, so for me to do that is, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I actually broke my neck kite surfing a few years ago, so
Wow.
I'm so lucky to be alive. Like it
Hmm.
was so close. But here I am, and I didn't die, and I've 100% recovered. I'm back at the kite surfing again, so I actually love it.
Hmm.
Regardless, I'm scared of the waves, I'm scared of the wind, I'm scared of the sharks, I'm scared of the cold. But I'm doing more living every minute out there than I would be sitting on shore looking out at the guys out there on the water doing it by themselves. So I'm right out there amongst it.
Great. That's so cool. Definitely just, a lesson for everyone just to get out there and do it really. So
Yeah.
that's absolutely amazing. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you and hearing your story and, getting some of your wisdom. Thank you to everyone listening, and tune in next time for Growing Tech Fast.
Thanks very much, Emily.
Thank you very much. That was really good. I think that was
Good.
good. How do you think?
Oh, it was okay. Yeah, I
Yeah?
think it was okay.
Yeah?
I don't know what my phone. It stopped working. Like it, you
Oh,
know,
well, we can cut all of that out. We can definitely, I'll let them
it's
know.
very,
We can
yeah,
obviously,
it's
we can
just,
cut some, edit, whatever, and it'll be good.
yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, I think I'm sure they can just sort that out.
Yeah.
It worked in the end. So how long did we go for?
We only have 6 minutes left, so it must have been about 35 minutes.
Well, that's more than enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Anyway,
think that's good.
the core stuff, for me anyway, was at the beginning. We got through that pretty
Yeah.
quickly. I probably rambled on a little bit too much, but
No, I think it was good. Definitely the product demo and everything like that. I think that was really good to include, definitely.
yeah, I think it becomes more tangible when people see it, and if you can do it in your own hands as you did.
Hmm.
Um, there's a guy in Silicon Valley called Jason Calacanis. Jason is a prolific investor.
Hmm.
Um, all the big things you would have heard of, he's been invested in as an angel investor. And no, he's a great guy as well. But his approach to this whole thing, and he gets pitched all the time, is if you're going to pitch to him, he wants to see you presenting it, like actually demonstrating within 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's like, straight off the bat, well, I can.
Yeah, no, that was really, really good. Yeah. I think that was really good. Yeah, hopefully it should be ready in like a week, 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll send it off like immediately, and then hopefully, yeah, I definitely am confident. It'll be good. I mean, I definitely think the demo was really cool to add in. I haven't really seen
Good,
anyone do that yet, so really like
good,
that.
good. All right. Well, I hope it is of value to you. I'll
Yeah.
promote you and it, on my social media when you send
Hmm.
it through. Yeah.
Amazing.
And in terms of using you guys, I think I told you, like, I've got to close this investment round,
Yeah.
getting bloody tight again. So it's like, oh God, we're so close, and yet
Yeah.
until it happens, nothing to happen. Yeah, it's like, oh. But in the last 24 hours, we've launched our product into a new marketplace.
Wow. Okay.
That's actually really, really cool.
Hmm.
And it's quite a big marketplace. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
And we've got a request from a really large financial services firm
Oh,
to
amazing.
the concept. It's
Nice.
about 40,000 users.
Wow.
So yeah, and they've got 25,000 staff. So
Yeah.
I don't know who their client base is, but it's that'd be brilliant. We'll see. We'll
Amazing.
see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for this. Like that was really, really exciting, like really insightful. Learned a lot. Loved the demo as well. So yeah, no, it's so good to talk to you today. Yeah,
So if
really,
you
really
guys,
enjoyed it.
if Org was Org3D,
Org3D.
So if you guys have a username, password, or something like that, I'm happy to give you guys an account if you can use it. You know, don't need to make money out of you. Happy to use it.
Oh, nice. Okay, amazing. I'll definitely mention that to the directors and stuff. So yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and you can just cut out that 2-minute demo so they can get it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, just an offer. I mean, you guys are doing something for me, which I really appreciate. So if I can return that in kind, I'd be more than happy to.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. It was so good to talk to you today.
You too.
I'll give you a message when it's ready. So hopefully soon, week or two. But yeah, really good talking to you.
Lovely. You too, Emily.
All right. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Speak soon. Bye.